We're here to idea everyone, to fire up your curiosity and connect you with the people and ideas that shape our world. Watch, listen, understand, connect, create. Let's move the human story forward together.
Hello and welcome to The Poetry of Science, a podcast which provides insight into new scientific research via the medium of poetry. I'm your host, Dr. Sam Illingworth, and each week I'll be introducing you to some of the latest scientific findings and sharing a selection of science-themed poetry. After all, we could all do with a little bit more poetry in our lives. In this episode, I'll be exploring new research, which has found that human-made materials in nests can bring both risks and benefit for birds. Amongst feathers and twigs, the songbird adorns her nest, with discarded skins of silken sweets and plastic string, cellophane shells that glisten with grubby foil, and the grim delights of 1,000 cast-off fag ends. In cradles weaved with care, the cold seeps in, warmth usurped by the ghost of intervention. The nest, though glittering with gold, bears an unsettling sheen as our touch leaves its mark on the load she bears, an echo of existence, indelibly stained on these spoiled and fragile homes. This poem is inspired by recent research published in the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society B, Biological Sciences, which has found that birds globally use human waste in nest building, a trend that offers some benefits, but also poses risks. Many bird species have started incorporating human litter such as sweet wrappers, cigarette butts and plastic strings into their nests. This trend is occurring in diverse environments, from seabirds in Australia incorporating fishing nets into their nests, to common blackbirds in Europe picking up plastic bags to add to theirs. While these items can serve some useful purposes for the birds, such as acting as a signal to others or warding off parasites, they can also introduce significant challenges. Young birds can become entangled in these materials, and the nests may fail to provide adequate warmth due to the insulative properties of these human-made items. In this new study, researchers delved deeply into the scientific literature to unravel why exactly birds are using these human-created items, or anthropogenic nest materials, ANMs, and what factors influence this behaviour. The team searched for patterns among different bird species, considering various factors like the difference between males and females and the type of nests they construct. The findings lend credence to the idea that the use of ANMs might be a bird's way of demonstrating its nest-building prowess to other birds. However, the study failed to discover any evidence suggesting that a bird's age or the relocation to a new nesting site contributes to this behaviour. Intriguingly, this trend doesn't seem confined to any bird-specific lineage, suggesting that it's a common behaviour cutting across various bird species. This research raises concerns, as it is becoming more and more clear that these type of materials can hurt both young birds and even fully grown ones. Now that you've heard the science, let me read the poem to you again. Amongst feathers and twigs, the songbird adorns her nest with discarded skins of silken sweets and plastic string, cellophane shells that glisten with grubby foil, and the grim delights of 1,000 cast-off fag ends. In cradles weaved with care, the cold seeps in, warmth usurped by the ghost of intervention. The nest, though glittering with gold, bears an unsettling sheen as our touch leaves its mark on the load she bears, an echo of existence, indelibly stained on these spoiled and fragile homes. In this section of the podcast, I'd like to share a poem written by another poet on a topic related to the science that has been discussed so far. In this episode, I'll be reading Nests in Elms by Michael Field. Michael Field was not a single person, but a pseudonym for two British women, Edith Emma Cooper and her aunt Catherine Harris Bradley, who wrote together from the late 19th to early 20th centuries. They wrote both poetry and verse drama, adapting their male pen name to help their works gain recognition in a time of widespread gender bias in literature. Their collaborations explored themes of love, nature and mythology, marked by vivid sensual imagery and emotional intensity. Their most notable work is perhaps the verse drama Callery Ho and Fair Rosamond, published in 1884, though their lyric poems are also highly respected. Nests in Elms by Michael Field. The rooks are cawing up and down the trees, among their nests they caw, O sound I treasure, ripe as old music is the summer's measure, sleep at her gossip sylvan mysteries, with prate and clamour to give zest of these, in rune I trace the ancient lore of pleasure, of love, of all the busyness of leisure, with dream on dream of never thoughted ease. O homely birds, whose cry is harbinger of nothing sad, who know not anything, of seabirds' loneliness, of proscene strife, rock round me when I die. So sweet it were to die by open doors with you on wing, humming the deep security of life. Thank you for listening to the Poetry of Science.
Thank you very much for being with us for this episode of the ideaXme show. ideaXme is a global platform. Our mission is to move the human story forward by sharing knowledge of the future. You can find us on all major audio networks at www.radioideaXme.com, on YouTube and Vimeo. Please subscribe.